Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I hope everybody's doing wonderful today. It is a beautiful day out here today, here in Indiana. I mean, it is a little cloudy out. It is partly cloudy out here. You got a little bit of sun out. I think the temperature where I'm at is in the upper 60s. As y'all can see, I got short sleeves, so it's not that cold up here. Well, Uh, I don't exactly know what I'm going to title this video. I'm probably going to title this video, maybe I'll title it the season for self-preservation and preparation. Or I might title it something else. Like maybe I'll title it It's About Survival, Not Your Ego. I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the video. Now, for those of you that watch my channel on a daily basis, maybe you saw my little post of my t-shirt. Now, there were some people that got offended over that t-shirt, so I took it down. I took it down because, basically, without telling you exactly what was on the t-shirt was basically cracking jokes at the current administration. I'll just leave it like that. Now, the reason why I took down that post is because this channel is not a political channel. This channel is primarily a channel to where I travel around and I take footage of small towns in cities, and I kind of, give you guys my 2 cents about these areas. I do a little bit of research on the areas in the event that anybody wants to visit those areas or you want to move to those areas. That's basically what the channel has been about the last, ever since I would say for most of the channel's existence, that's basically what the channel has been about. And that's what I intend to continue to do on this channel. This is not a political channel. However, I am human. I am an American. And like many of you out here that are Americans, you're tax-paying, working Americans. Many of you are probably fed up with what's been going on in this country, with all the people that are non-American citizens benefiting more off of the American tax dollar than us Americans who pay into the system are benefiting off of it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are also fed up with what's going on with companies like Tyson Chicken, and I guarantee there's a lot of other companies that are doing the same thing as Tyson. They're getting rid of their American workforce and they're hiring other workers and paying them far less. And there's even many white collar jobs that are going away, and many of those positions are being outsourced to places like India. So, just like many of you out there, I'm fed up too. But you know what? There ain't shit anybody can do about it. I mean, as far, there's, there's little to nothing that any of us can do about it in terms of forcing the hand of the people that run the government. And although this is not a political channel, what I'm getting ready to talk about, well, some of you might consider it political, but it's not really a political discussion. It's more of a discussion of how we're going to have to start to move. At least the majority of us are going to have to start to move. So although there's little to nothing that any of us can do about all the shenanigans that are going on with the American tax dollar, under this current leadership. I just want to, I mean, now, here's another reason why I'm making this video. Now, I made a video maybe about a month or so ago, and I titled it, Gen Zs Are Lazy as F. Now, if you want to know what that video was truly about, go back and watch it. I'm not going to elaborate on that video on this video. Now, I want to make this video just to kind of come back with a message to all the younger people out here, and even a message to people my age or perhaps people a little older than myself. I mean, we have gotten to a point in this country to where, I mean, for those of you that are working 40 hours a week, maybe you're working a job you don't really like a lot. Maybe the pay is not all that. Some of you who might be a little younger, you're trying to find your way out here. And you don't, maybe you're living at home. Some of you may not want to work certain jobs because the title of the job is not glamorous. You're not going to be able to go out here to the ladies. For those of you who feel that are single, you're not going to be able to go out to the ladies and talk about how you're working at the chicken plant or you're working as a garbage collector. I mean, because a lot of the ladies aren't really going to get excited about that type of stuff. Now, you do got ladies out here that don't care, that is looking for a good man. So long as you're earning money legally and you're financially responsible, they don't care. But sadly, you got a lot of women that, they're a little shallow and they do care. But we have gotten to the time in this country where we can't worry about that type of stuff. We can't worry about job titles and status and how so-and-so is going to feel about the work that we choose to do for whatever reason. We can't worry about that stuff anymore. I mean, we have gotten to the time where it is now about survival. It's not about your ego. It's not even about what you want to do and what you don't want to do. It is about survival. And sometimes in order to survive, you got to do things you don't want to do at some point. Maybe a little longer than what you would like. And my thing is, when it comes to self-preservation, self-preparation, I mean, whatever it is that you got to do within the restraints of your finances and also with the restraints of the law, now we have gotten to the point where we're going to have to do that. Now, what does that look like? Well, here's what it looks like in a nutshell. It can look like a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you got some people that are fed up with the whole system in this current establishment that we live in, and they're moving to other countries. So self-preservation, preparation can look like that. For those of you that got a little bit of money, maybe you got some connections in other countries, you like to travel, you've traveled a lot, you know where you want to go, you got the money, it can look like that. Now, for many of us that may not have the luxury at this particular moment to just up and move to whatever country that we feel is going to be the best suited for our purposes and for our family purposes. Another thing that many people are doing is you got more and more people that are abandoning the idea of living in the metro, living in the suburbs. Or you got a lot of people that don't even want to live in small towns or small cities. You got people that are buying land out west. Like, you got a lot of people buying 10, 20 acres or so of land in parts of Arizona and New Mexico. And they're starting an off-grid type of lifestyle. You got people buying raw land in other parts of the country and starting off-grid lifestyles as well. So that could also be a form of self-preservation and preparation. If you got the money, of course, and you got the skills, or you know people that can get you hooked up for a reasonable price, there's always the option of buying land and living somewhere off-grid and growing your own fruits and vegetables, and I guess in some cases producing your own meats, going fishing and having your own fish and all that type of stuff. And for those people that don't want to necessarily live off-grid, or maybe the occupation that they're working, which might be a 9-to-5 storefront type of setup, it meant that type, the work that they do and what they got going on with their family, some of us may not be able to live completely in the middle of nowhere off-grid on several acres of land. So, and there's a lot of us that, quite frankly, we don't want to have to worry about the installation of a septic system, a well, and then we still have to build a structure, and then the structure has to meet certain specifications to the county or to the state or whatever the case might be. Some of us, we want to live life a little different. Some of us need to be within a reasonable amount of time to amenities like businesses, so we can have jobs and earn money, places to get our vehicles serviced, and grocery stores and stuff like that. So another form of self-preservation could be, and this is if you got the money, of course, is to purchase a home to where maybe you have a quarter of an acre or larger, to where you can plant a garden for your family and grow at least some of your own fruits and vegetables. Maybe over the weekends you can take a family trip to the lake and go fishing, or to the river and go fishing, and then you have your own fish. Or you can go hunting and you can have your own meats. You can have a setup to where for the yard you grow your fruits and vegetables. Maybe in your garage or your storage shed you have a couple of big chest freezers to where you can preserve your meat, you can preserve your fruits and your vegetables as well, for during the winter time when you can't grow anything, you still got fresh fruits and vegetables that you can eat off of until it gets into growing season again. And you can even preserve some meat. So whenever you're not able to go out here and hunt or fish, you still got enough meat to feed yourself and your family. So self-preservation could look like that. Self-preservation / preparation could look like that. And another thing that we can do and need to do for self-preservation and preparation is financial. How are your finances? Do you have a bunch of debt that you got to pay off? Do you have any debt that you can get rid of immediately that's unnecessary? Are you doing a lot of unnecessary spending? Do you have any unnecessary prescriptions? The train is here again. Yeah, that's the train. But anyways, like I was saying, we need to look, I think we all need to look at our finances. Like, we need to look at A, how we can save money. B, for those of us that are already doing so, how we can continue to build and sustain wealth. For those of you that haven't started doing that yet, you need to look into how you can start to build and sustain wealth. A lot of Americans don't even have a savings account. So if you don't have your savings account, you need to build up a savings account of some sort. I mean, maybe you can start with $1,000, kind of like the whole Dave Ramsey baby stuff solution. I mean, $1,000 is not a lot of money. I get it, but it's better than zero. So you can start with $1,000 maybe, and then build it up to maybe $4,000 or $5,000, and then beyond that, whatever extra money you have, just put it into a. You can either put it into a Roth IRA or put it into some mutual funds. Now, a lot of jobs also offer 401k, so you can also take advantage of that as well. But I wouldn't put all your spare money in 401k, because in the event that your company goes under, kind of like what happened to Yellow Freight, you can mess around and think you're going to retire off of a fat 401k, and all that money is out of here. So you don't want to invest all of your spare money in 401k. You want to have your own personal mutual fund, and you also want to have a Roth IRA. That's my setup anyway. Now, this is not no financial advice. I'm just telling you what I do, and what you guys out here who are watching this who are listening to this video can at least look into. You can, like I said, this is not financial advice. I mean, you'll want to go and visit your financial institution, and whoever you see for financial advice, you want to go talk to that individual. So financing is a huge thing. So your financials, you need to get that in order, which also is a part of self-preservation and preparation. And even if now, for those of you that are living in a house to where maybe your lot size is smaller, like you might have, your lot size might be, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. Now, if you own your home, obviously, you can just go out to your yard and plant yourself or your family a little garden. Now, that garden may not be able to serve all your nutritional purposes, but if you at least have some kind of a garden, it will at least serve some. I mean, at the minimum, it could be the difference between you starving and you having food in your stomach if things really get super crazy. But during normal times, it can be the difference. It could save you maybe $100 or $2 a month on produce, even if you plant a small garden. Now, of course, if you're renting, you're going to want to go ahead and consult with your landlord, because you don't want your landlord tripping, oh man, you're not allowed to have a garden, and the next thing you know, you're evicted, and now you're looking at Bob Wells' van life channels trying to figure out how you're going to live in a van because you got evicted over something dumb. So I don't want to see anybody get evicted out here. I mean, times are tough as it is. So those are just some of my ideas of how we all can begin the process of self-preservation / preparation. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, and again, I'm not trying to get too political here, but the truth of the matter is, if you wait for your employer to tell you what's up, in terms of whether you're going to have your job the next day or not, I mean, by the time your employer tells you what's up, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be too late. Or if you wait for the government itself to tell you what's going on, 9 times out of 10, if they even tell you at all, by the time they tell you, again, it's going to be too late. I mean, we all need to put ourselves and our families in a position to where we can, to where we're proactive, not reactive. Because when you're proactive, typically time is going to be more on your side, and you're going to have a lot more resources to work with. As where if you get into a position, or you're forced into a position to where all you can do is react, by the time you get into that position, you're going to in most cases, you're going to be in a compromising position. You're not going to have near as many resources at your disposal, and time is not going to be as much on your side. So I make this video because it's important that all of us are proactive in our existence than to wait until shit hits the fan and now the only thing any of us can do is to be reactive. Now, I understand sometimes things happen beyond one's control, and sometimes you have no choice but to be reactive because you didn't have the time or the resources to be proactive. But for those of you that are working, you got your resources, you got a little bit of financial leverage, right now is the time to be proactive if you haven't started being proactive already. You do not want to wait until the only option you have is to be reactive. Because just remember, when it gets to the point to where you're reactive, by then it's too late. By then you most likely depleted much of your resources, and time is no longer on your side. You are now in a compromising position. As where if you're proactive, time is on your side, your resources are going to be a little bit more plentiful, and you're not going to have to compromise yourself and your family as much, if at all. So, for those of you that are working and the money doesn't seem to be adding up, if you're able to, I would say right now, if you haven't done so already, if you're not doing so already, right now is the time to go ahead and get you that second job. If you got to get a part-time job at McDonald's or at Pizza Hut, do what you got to do. As I've told you at the beginning of the video, check your ego at the freaking door. Your ego is not going to enable you or your family to survive when things get crazy. But that extra money could. Just a thought. And as far as what you don't want to do, again, check that stuff at the door, because your emotions are not going to see you or your family through tough times. Again, the little extra money could help. It'll help a lot more than your ego. It will also help a lot more than your emotions. And, and I'm not just giving you this advice just because I'm a YouTuber and I'm just trying to hear myself and see myself on camera and get views on my channel. Yeah, I want views on my channel because that's how I get paid. But I'm also giving you guys this advice because the advice I'm giving you guys is the same advice I'm taking myself. Now, some of the advice I've started doing already and I've been doing for some time. Some of the other stuff I haven't started yet and I'm going to start. And some of it I'm going to kind of, you're going to see a little bit of footage on. Like when it comes to work, I'm contemplating on going back to DoorDashing part-time, in conjunction to working on this YouTube channel, in conjunction to a full-time job. Because as much as I enjoy having a little bit of spare time to do whatever, I enjoy having a ton of money. Not just for the sake of having money, but for the sake of when things get crazy out here, I don't have to worry so much about certain stuff. I don't have to compromise on certain stuff. I can still eat well. I can still live well. And the amount of interruptions in my life will be minimal with the right amount of money. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. And if you like what I do on this channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to support this channel, give videos like this a thumbs up. And on that note, stay blessed. Everybody take care. And try to keep your emotions in check and focus on survival for you and your family.